And what I want to say is that in a very fascinating ruling, the Chief Justice decided that this bill was constitutional. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time discussing why he said it and why they decided it. What I'm going to talk about is what happens if the Republicans have their way and this law is repealed. I want the American people to know, because and I say this with no animosity at all. I just say I'm going to do everything I can to stop them from repealing it for a reason. And the reason are the families in my state and all over the country that are getting the benefits of this law. Governor Romney says it's going to be the thing he's going to do. The first day, he's going to repeal the health care law. If he gets elected day one, let me tell you what will happen very, very clearly. There are 54 million Americans who are now getting access to free preventive services such as mammograms and immunizations, if they have private insurance. That's most of our people. They would no longer get free mammograms, free checkups, over and out. 54 million Americans lose if Governor Romney and the Republicans repeal this bill. 6 million of my people in California. My seniors, over 300,000, would no longer get help with their prescription drug benefit. Now they are getting help. They will then go back to choosing between taking their prescription drugs or eating dinner. I'm sorry, I'm going to stand in the way if I can. In Medicare, millions of seniors would lose access to free preventive services. 32 million Medicare patients get these services for free, including cancer screenings and flu shots. Why on earth would somebody or some party want to get up and say, I'm repealing that? 105 million Americans will once again face lifetime limits on their health insurance plan. Now, if you're diagnosed with cancer, you look at your plan, it says you're covered up to $250,000. That sounds like a lot of money. I could tell you now, if you're battling cancer, that's not a lot of money. And now suddenly, at your worst moments, the worst moments you're facing, your radiation, your chemo, you've hit up against your lifetime limit. That will be gone. More than 6 million young adults, including 300,000 in my state, would lose their health insurance because now they have a guarantee, because of the health care bill, they can stay on their parents' coverage till they're 26. Why would anyone want to repeal that? Ask them. They do. Insurance companies would no longer owe rebates to customers if those insurance companies spend too much on premiums and pay the CEOs exorbitant bonuses and paid hardly anything to help you with your health care. We're going to see 12 million Americans get back $1 billion in rebate checks in August. They'll stop that. They want to stop that. How about millions of children who are now getting coverage? Because they have a pre-existing condition before this law, they couldn't. So if a child was born with a heart defect, even if it was something that could be controlled, they couldn't get insurance. And pity those families. You know, I've had, Mr. President, reports of people in my state crying tears of joy when the Supreme Court acted because they could not get insurance, because the woman, this particular one, had a pre-existing condition, and now she could get insurance. Because of the work of Senator Sanders, and I helped him with it, we have community health care centers across the country getting funding. So if you have no insurance, or even if you have insurance, you can go in there. With your ability to pay, you get health care. That would be repealed. School-based health centers, repealed. Training of our health care workers, repealed. I will tell you, that's just what the benefits are today. In 2014, there'll be a slew of new benefits. This bill, while not perfect and we can fix the problems, is a good bill. Just remember, Mr. President, everyone in our country does get health care, but the difference is some of them walk into an emergency room having paid nothing for a premium, even if they're wealthy, and they expect us to pay the bill in the emergency room. With the approach that Massachusetts Governor Romney took, he said, if you're a responsible person and you can afford it, you have to buy a minimal health insurance plan. President Obama got the idea from Governor Romney, and I call it a personal responsibility premium. Some people call it a tax, some people call it a fee. I call it a personal responsibility premium because most of the people I represent buy health care coverage. And a few just say, you know what, I feel terrific. I'll wait until something bad happens to me, then I'll go to the emergency room, and they can all pay. And that's what we've got. That's what we've got. We have people who are responsible paying for the free riders. And the idea that President Obama got was from then Governor Romney. So I am just saying, Mr. President, this is going to be a long election season, and there's going to be a lot of battles over health care. I hope today we will pass the bill that's in front of us and take care of the construction sector and transportation, and I hope we'll take care of flood insurance and student loan interest rates. We can do that with one vote on a bill shortly if we get permission to move forward. If we don't, we'll be here all weekend or whatever it takes to get it done. I'm not going to go home until this is done. But I can also tell you, as we look at this health care battle, the lines are pretty clear. There are millions and millions of Americans who are getting benefits today. Why would anyone want to take away those benefits? And yet, that is where we are in the debate. So I hope cooler heads will prevail. Let's get on with bringing this economy back. Let's allow this bill, with a few corrections, because we can always fix things that don't work, go forward. Let's stop the heated name-calling. Let's make sure that we work together, just as we did in the transportation bill. This is a good moment, I believe, for this Senate today. I hope we can get our work done, and then we can actually celebrate something before we start battling over health care. Let's celebrate that we said to the construction sector, we need you to rebuild those broken roads, those broken bridges. We need you to make sure that we get those transit systems up and running. And then I honestly believe the rest of these problems will take up one at a time. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I yield the floor.